All right, everybody, welcome in. This is Real Talk with Spoon and Puddin, episode 40. I'll be the one and only Big Spoon.
That'd be the pudding. I think I got my computer issues fixed. Huh?
Hope so.
Well, you're the one with the looking at the tab bar. Is it okay? Did it show me having a good
Looks,
signal?
it looks good right now. The
Okay.
primary purpose of this podcast is to educate and share thoughts and opinions. When we have proof and evidence on a topic, it will be brought forth. This podcast does not constitute advice or services to anyone. Spoon and Puddin do not accept any responsibility or liability for anyone, for our guests, or anyone's comments or actions based on the material we talk about on our podcast. This podcast is for private, non-commercial use, and everyone should ascertain that the information we provide is correct and verified at all times. There shall be no adding to, editing, or reproduction of this podcast without prior written permission from Spoon and Puddin. You can reach us at realtalkwithspoonandpuddin@gmail.com. What's up, Puddin?
Oh, another day. I've been working a lot this weekend. Pretty big Thanksgiving meal. How about you?
Thanksgiving was good.
Fatter than you was?
Well, yeah, I don't think Thanksgiving had anything to do with that, but
Well, we didn't do it yesterday because you was a soggy fat mess. Like, oh boy. No, you worked all night Saturday and didn't feel like it, right?
no, it didn't feel like it.
But no, so what you want to talk about today? I've just finished up the last of the Thanksgiving. Well, no, there's still some macaroni in there. Macaroni and pie.
I got my sausage balls. What you
Oh
said
yeah,
you
yeah,
never had,
yeah.
and I can't believe you've never had sausage balls. I mean, that's beyond me.
I've had, I don't know, meatballs, but I don't know what you got something different, man. That's a you thing.
Meatballs is not the same thing as sausage balls.
What?
I'm sorry.
You tell the ingredients. Go ahead, and then see if you know. Go ahead.
Well, it depends on how you want to make them.
Well, it depends on how you want to make them. Okay.
The wife makes them with sausage, cheese, and Bisquick.
See that? I bet hardly anybody watching this would say they've had sausage balls like that because Bisquick. Where the hell did that come from?
I don't think Thanksgiving had anything.
Oh.
Well, other people use flour, make their own, whatever,
Well, I mean, sausage balls, like, I've had sausage pizza. Those are little sausage balls.
No, it's not the same thing.
Well, that was what the lady at Speedway used to call you, sausage balls, because that's all you wanted was sausage pizza.
Sausage pizza.
Yeah, you were sausage balls. Now you talk about, you ever had sausage balls? And I'm like, you mean on pizza? What the fuck are you talking about?
Usually we don't get it till Christmas because like Thanksgiving we have big meal. At Christmas we have like what you would call finger foods or easy fix stuff. We have like pepperoni tray and fruit tray and vegetable tray and sausage balls and little smokies, that sort of thing. But she went ahead and made my sausage balls for me, thank goodness. I didn't get my cherry punch bowl cake. I'll have to wait till Christmas for that, but that's all right.
Cherry punch bowl cake. Well, what else? But you had pretty much the standard, right? The turkey ham or
yeah, we had turkey ham, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, green beans, real dressing, rolls.
About typical.
Cranberry sauce, pecan pie, coconut cake, pumpkin pie, which I don't like pumpkin pie. So
I can tolerate pumpkin pie.
I eat a little bit of the pecan pie and a little bit of coconut cake.
I made sure when the wife was up there at the Sam's Club, I'm like, make sure you get they got, oh my God, I love their pecan pie. It's a big old pecan pie. It's huge. And,
how much is it?
It's like $13. It ain't cheap.
Golly.
Yeah, it ain't cheap, but it is good. I was like, we had that last Thanksgiving when my parents was up. They used their membership and went and got one, and Oh man, that thing was delicious. So
We went to GFS and got the mac and cheese. I don't know if you ever had that mac and cheese. It's pretty damn good.
I've had it. I know
But
you brag about it. You think it's the best mac and cheese in the world.
well, it's not the best in the world, but like my 14-year-old son, he loves it. Like that's one of his presents he wants for Christmas. He
The
wants a
wife
tray for
bought
Thanksgiving.
The wife bought a box of bow ties or something. Bow tie noodles, a big box, and she boiled them, and it turned out to way more noodles than she thought it was. And then we ended up being like a pan and a half of her macaroni and cheese that she makes. But she did the homemade, not the GFS.
She get the block of Velveeta or whatever, and
Yeah, some other cheese or whatever she does. I don't know. But
well, it ain't gonna go bad. You know, every day you heat
well,
up.
we got most of it in the freezer. It was like, well, we just put it in the freezer. Too much macaroni and cheese. But no, but that was our Thanksgiving. Pretty decent. Did some gun shooting.
Brenda said, "I'm confused about folks using stovetop on Thanksgiving. None of that. We're country folks. That's right.
Well, we
There's a
use
difference.
stovetop.
Stuffing or dressing. All right. It's not the same. We want dressing, country dressing.
Well, we use stuffing. We use stuffing in this house because it's easy.
No dressing.
Hey, I didn't. You know what? I didn't have to cook it, so I'm not going to complain.
That's right. A lot of people want their giblet gravy and all that stuff. I'm not a brown gravy guy. I like my white. What do you want, pumpkin?
White gravy. You want your wall putty paste? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I like my. Excuse you.
Yeah. Messing up the camera. But no, I don't know what. I think Michelle made a chicken gravy this year. It's pretty good. But anyway, so what else other than just having a good Thanksgiving, and then you having a wet Saturday night and going home soggy and just out of Sunday.
Well, the best thing about Thanksgiving was normally I only get to talk to my son about 10 minutes on Sundays. And because he always calls the wife because I work every Sunday. So like yesterday, I didn't get to talk to him at all, but on Thanksgiving, they got an hour of talk time. Of course, we had to split it with his girlfriend, but we got to talk to him for a half hour. So that topped it off.
Well, did you have any awkward family conversations with people by, or just like normal?
No, we went to the in-laws Thanksgiving. What was it? The Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Oh, no awkward.
No, we had some good conversation there. Of course, I get along well with her mom and stepdad and aunt and uncles and stuff. Now, her cousin is a Metro police officer, so I got to overhear some of his good conversations about some of the people he deals with on a daily basis. But
no, he's dealing with the most finest, upstanding citizens.
Oh yeah.
Scary thing is, it's just, I'm wondering what's going to happen when they start turning them loose in Illinois. The purge law they keep talking about.
Oh yeah, I think my cat's got into your shrooms.
Mm-mm.
He's acting like it.
Oh, Lord. There's a lot of them growing out there.
Well, I mean, have you seen what's going on in China about the people trying to?
They tried it at Tiananmen Square, and what happened?
The question is, are they going to succeed this time? Or are they going to just give up?
I don't know. All governments are decadent. I mean, in the end, they're all criminal organizations at some point. Time just call the spade a spade, the way I look at it.
Well, we have good conversations with Andy. He's former military and police, and he has a different stance on some things that we do on certain angles, but we're pretty much still right there close, especially when it comes to the Constitution and the Founding Fathers. And I had a conversation last night with a security guard that works for Allied. He's up there at Hinkle. This first time I've seen this guy, but he's retired military and police, and we got into some good conversations about the woke generation and the Constitution, Founding Fathers, and
it's the woke is going to burn itself out eventually.
I don't know. It seems like the minority on anything is the controlling factor to the majority. Like they change everything to benefit whatever is on their agenda for the day. Like you can't call him a he or her a she because they might be.
You damn sure can. I mean, they'll cry bloody murder when you do, but what does that really change anything? You know what I mean?
Well, like most of these companies now, and Cowan's no different. If you say he or she to a person that they don't relate as being he or she, and they're offended and they turn you in, they're going to fire you over it because and
eventually then that's when every driver that works for that company needs to find everyone who's offended by it and then just go right in their faces and say it in front of managers. Just go ahead, tell them to fire you because they ain't got no drivers.
That's the world we live in. That's what the government does. They
twist everything. I know what the government.
They twist everything. They twist everything to benefit what their agenda is at the time.
There's going to be a stopping point, though. If people in this country would wake up and realize how much power they really have, just like we've talked about with the banking people and these politicians, there's a point where, they're going to have to back up on what they've said.
Well, the problem is most people don't care.
Like I told you before, I don't think that 20%, 15%, 10%, 30% of the people voting in these like city elections, that's even if 30% of the people went out and voted in Portland this election or last election.
They didn't.
Is that how would you say it? If a third, so if two city council people or three city council people show up, do they got a quorum? No. Okay, so if they ain't got a quorum, don't sit here and tell me or badger me that because 25% of the people voted. If it was, I don't even think it was that. I thought the numbers don't show it. But even if 25, that's not a quorum.
No.
So these people that are running these cities that act like they're, the lords over everything. And it was, I think I talked to Andy about, we were talking with, or was it me and him talking? Or we were talking about something about, for instance, the July 4th, when they went to stop the fireworks, no fireworks.
Yeah.
That's it's a city ordinance. It's not a law, people. Nope. It's an ordinance. These aren't lawmakers. And you need to understand the difference between it. But however, if you own a piece of property in the city, I had somebody over here a few days ago talking about he found some land he was thinking about buying. And I said, well, where is it? And he said, it's in the city of Portland. I said, I wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Who was it?
People are, I ain't going to say his name. I ain't saying names.
Okay. Oh, just a buddy of yours.
Yeah, just a buddy of mine. But, I said, it's in that little corrupt city. I said, they have zoning rights over your property. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because if you ain't connected to the right person, you don't get your favors done, and I'm sorry, we haven't posted no videos from some of the council meetings. I've Thanksgiving week didn't work a lot. Didn't get time to, or I didn't really have a lot of spare time to sit down and go through them and try to put, my opinions, my opinions of what's going on there, and I'll write that on the video, like on the last videos, I will put up there. This is where this alderwoman, Megan Thompson, is trying to save her brother's, property, you know,
But
because
these will only be on YouTube, right?
these are going to be on YouTube. Yes. I haven't
Yeah.
got to it yet, but it was like me showing the fact that, well, it's a lot cheaper to tie into the city and leave the problem with the citizens of Portland with the water and sewer versus having to drill a well and put in a septic system, isn't it? So that's profits that go to the seller of the development, not the, you know, he's not setting somebody up on long-term sustainability. He's putting the citizens of Portland, you know, behind the 8 ball so that they get to pay for it. And, but that's the decadent thing that happens with these later generations, you know? So, but that's my point. We haven't got to that yet, but again, the person said he found some acreage up there. And I said, well, where is it? He said, you know, tell me where it was. And I said, it'd be nice, but I said, if it's in the city of Portland, I wouldn't touch it. I said, I'd go to the county because the county isn't as corrupt. There's too much corruption in that city.
What's a bad thing? It's in every very small town. So the best thing to do is just stay out in the county away from the cities, you know?
Yeah, just stay out of their zone. Or if they try to annex you into the city, you know, say, oh, no, I'll stay county, you know, because then they think they control you with their ordinances. And no, the ordinances aren't laws, they're ordinances. That's exactly what they are. Yeah. You aren't lawmakers. You aren't lawmakers because you got, what, 988 votes. You're not a lawmaker, Megan Thompson. You know, that's, you know, third. Gotta keep making fun of that one.
908, let's say 1,000.
988 people did not give you a quorum to vote whatever you want in or put any law into the city.
That's like less than 10% of the population.
Yeah, that's like what, 7-8% of the people in Portland.
Let's say 8%.
Give her the benefit, but that's not 8% of the people don't give you that. That's not, you know, that doesn't mean that you have the right to pat the good citizens on the head who didn't shoot their fireworks.
Well, I mean, even if you take the mayor who got double that, he only got say 17%.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Just because you got 20% of the vote, you don't make law, jackass. You know, the people want to talk to you about things, but you won't talk to you. You know, I'll give Callis that. He's a slick, sly politician. Absolutely. He's definitely the person that'll sit there and just go, yeah, well, you know, we'll just get to your alderman, when he could have done it. He could have took the front on that. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna make. If I do anything to that mayor with these podcasts to make him regret anything, it's going to regret the day he met me because I asked him to put fluoride on the agenda. I wanted to see if the city could be fair and have a discussion, you know, and it can't.
Don't fit their agenda.
No, it don't fit their agenda. He wants to poison your kids and make them stupider. That's what he wants to do. He wants to give people neurotoxins.
We'll get back to what I touched on a while ago. Brenda said she actually had a young lady tell her that she isn't telling her child the gender she was going to let her child choose. And then a kindergarten student confused as hell when the teacher says girls on the right, boys on the left. That is a parent problem, right? I don't care what you believe. Like, I'm Christian, Puddin's agnostic. There's only two genders. You're either male or female.
Well, there is the very, 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 very small percentage of people that are born hermaphrodites.
Okay. All right. But what I'm saying is, if you're born male or female, and
if you're born full penis or full vagina, you're not the small.
You're not the small percentage that is the hermaphrodite.
Well, the hermaphrodite has a choice. You know, they have a choice. You don't, jackass. You didn't have a choice.
So if you're a parent, raising your children and allowing them to think that way, and you know, I've seen things where the parents are letting their kids have sex changes at, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9. How is that not child abuse? That's what I want to know.
I think it is.
The way I was raised today, my mother would have been in prison if she was still alive, if it was today, the way I was raised. But the mother that's over there saying, my little Susie or my little Tommy, is going to have a sex change at 6, and I'm going to allow that, that's perfectly
Susie's
fine.
going to become Sam. No, I think it's wrong. I disagree with it all the way. And that, like I said, I know you think that small percentage of people that are getting the limelight, you know what I mean? And
Brenda says, Google how many genders there currently are. Oh, I don't need.
I think it's over 70 the last I seen, but who knows?
Oh my God.
Pretty soon they may have a Minotaur mixed gender or something. Who knows? I mean, Minotaur might already be in there, you know. I have full human person or whatever.
Everybody's offended by everything in this day and age, and everybody can say
in a world of offended people, it's a troll's paradise.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm gonna say I represent myself as a unicorn fart. I'm no longer a man.
You want to be a unicorn fart?
Yeah, I want to be a unicorn fart.
Oh, okay. What is that? Does it got sprinkles on it?
If you want sprinkles, you can have it.
Oh, okay. Well, looks like a cupcake with sprinkles.
It's just like a rainbow
It's
cloud
like
floating.
a rainbow dust cloud with sprinkles. That sounds good.
Yeah.
The sprinkles are the shark. Is that it? Oh God. But no.
Brenda said she was a tomboy. Her parents didn't play on that. They just allowed her to grow up. I'm gonna tell on myself a little bit here. All right.
Oh Lord.
Mrs. Beasley. I had a baby doll, Mrs. Beasley, and I love that thing to death. All right. Mm-hmm. You can call me a sissy if you want to. I still miss that baby doll.
You little bitch.
I didn't grow up to be a woman. I grew up to be a good father, I hope. You know? What?
I was the guy that took my sister's little baby dolls and put them out in the dirt and then had like a remote control tank run over them. You know?
Well, I did that too. I took all my sister's Barbies and tore them to pieces and had my army guys lined up when she come home from school. Like it's 2 years. Yeah, the battlefield, you know.
Oh, we had some collateral damage, sis.
You know, she was 2 years ahead of me, so
no, but I never really played with. I don't know. I mean, other than God, I wish I still had that old Star Wars toy. Oh my God, I had some of the coolest Star Wars toys back in the 80s. Oh man, who would have thought if you'd have just kept them in the package and never touched them, that you could sell them and buy a car today?
What I mean, that's the same. Like when my dad was growing up, they stuck Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth rookie cards in their spokes of the tires just so they could have a loud sound, you know.
Clackety 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 clack. Yeah, just not knowing one day.
Well, speaking on that gender thing, about a year and a half ago, I was coming home from Bowling Green. I worked overtime up there when we had to go up there for overtime, and I wanted to work 10, so I was coming home. It was about 4:00 in the morning, and this car come rolling past me, and they crashed into the barrier. I'm talking about it was rough. Pop, 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 pop. So, of course, I pull over and call 911, run over to try to find out if they're all right or not. And I swear up and down, I said, you know, I told him it was a he, and I was going through stuff, and he's like, "No, I'm a she," and I just said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And they were mad that I called him a she. I'm like, "Are you really going to be upset that I called you a she? I'm the only, you know, one that stopped and called 911 and getting you help here, you know." But they were very upset that I'm like, if you're a she, I look more like
well,
a
woman. You see how professional their driving skills were. So I guess their choosing of gender skills were, you know, just as superb.
Brenda said you want a Lego Death Star, her nephew has one for sale.
No, I'm saying I had the old walker, the 4-legged walker, and I had R2D2 about I can't remember. Pretty big R2D2 to run around the house and put the batteries in them.
A 4-legged walker, where do you get those?
The walkers from Empire. or was it, yeah, I think it was the Empire. Second film, the dog walkers where the troops would pop out of the side of it. And,
No, you didn't get it.
okay,
Streetwalker, four-legged streetwalker.
Oh, well, those. Hey, who knows, man? Maybe somebody identifies as a horny dog or something. You know, might be one of the 70 some odd genders you're claiming.
What do you
trying to get about?
What do you identify as besides a moron?
An asshole.
Well, we all knew that.
I don't know. I just identify as me, whatever. But man, I don't need no thing. I'm not going to say nothing. I ain't never changing nothing. And if the woke police have a problem with it, then you can fucking kiss my ass. That's all I got to say.
Look at all the different groups we have. You have the woke nation, the flat earthers, and
the flat earthers. I mean, that's just gaslighting is all it is.
Well, we talked about it. We talked about it the other night, but what does it change? You know, like you said.
No, that's my synopsis of it is, you know, in the end, no matter what your belief is, flat, round, square, you know, hexagon, whatever, you know, what does it change?
I think it's octagon.
It's an octagon.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't that a Chuck Norris movie, The Octagon?
I don't know.
You know, that's what happened. The world was round, then Chuck Norris hit it. Octagon.
I wasn't this big Chuck Norris guy.
I don't know. That's an old movie, dude. Back in the 80s, I was a kid.
My
dad was a Chuck Norris guy.
I had to watch too much Walker, Texas Ranger to care about Chuck Norris.
No. My dad wasn't a Walker or Ranger guy. He was a Chuck Norris movie guy. Just like he loved that Airwolf program. I was like, what the hell? Airwolf? Oh, boy. You know, super helicopter, whatever. All right. Fantasies.
I kind of miss the show Hee Haw. Remember Hee Haw?
Yeah. I'll never get that again. That might be too politically incorrect today.
Oh, Minnie Pearl.
Whatever. I mean, everyone's offended, remember?
Yeah, you can't speak the truth.
No, I think you absolutely can speak the truth. It just depends on the other motherfucker if they're an offended panty waste or not, you know. And if they're offended, say, well, thank you. I don't, you know, go away.
Well, people can't have conversations anymore. They don't communicate. All right.
No, they live in their own little bubble.
Yeah. And it's all, you know, all computers and phones, and they can't have a conversation. Then when you say something they don't like, they're easily offended. Let's have a real conversation, because the things people don't want to talk about besides politics and religion, which I think definitely you should have those conversations. But
I love the religious conversations when we have them, you know, because I don't shy away from saying anything, you know. And I never will. I'm going to say whatever I feel like. Just because your perception of, you know, what higher power is up there doesn't mean you're right. You know, just because you perceive it that way. You perceive it that way, and somebody who's sitting in the same worshiping hall with you perceives it completely differently. You know.
Well, you know, you make fun of Christians.
I make fun of them because it's just... what a fairy tale. I mean, honestly, going back to Moses and the fairy tale, all of it. Just
what I'm getting at is a lot of it's disrespectful, I feel like. But then
disrespectful
on the other side,
because I think it's once upon a time.
No, hang on. And then on the other aspect, you're right about things, because even just go to our town. You go to the big church in town, right? I would say 75% of the people probably goes there. Maybe it's not that high a number, but I could probably go point out most of them. They're only there for what? For show.
Socialize and rub elbows with the good old boys club.
Yeah, that's it. They're not there for, you know, their faith and the religion. They're there so they can rub elbows, socialize, and they can say, hey, people see me at church. They know I go to church. They know I'm a great person.
Yeah, they know
That's
I'm
the
a.
reason.
Well, no, it's a mask. It's no different than a COVID mask. It's let me go here, so that person that banker person I'm trying to schmooze thinks I'm a good person because I'm pretending to be a Christian. You know, when you leave there and you go home and you get on your Pornhub and you crank one off and you know what I mean.
We just had this conversation the other day, and the Sunday crowd, the so-called Christians, are the worst customers, the rudest customers, and the cheapest customers that you'll ever come by. Not just in this town, anywhere. It's for a fact. My
Oh, I
my
know.
teenage daughter is finding out.
Why she waiting now?
Well, she's a
She
car
waiting
hop.
table.
She's a car hop.
Oh,
But,
okay, son.
but through the week, she gets people in there that are pretty generous. But
See, I'm just a cheap ass. I'm not a pretending cheap ass. You know what I mean?
my wife and friends, they've been in that business of
Food service.
food service, and
What was you thinking about?
I don't know what you're getting at, Brenda. May have to. Well, I don't want to misinterpret what you're saying. So because she said judgment on most of the congregation, yet worship a God that says judgment is His. Maybe she's mean that towards me. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure I'm getting what she's saying right. But for people to portray to the world that they're these great Christians and they're living by what God says, and the number one commandment above all others is to love everyone, right? Love your neighbor as he is yourself, your brother, and to take care of each other. To be the rudest, meanest, less giving people tells you that are they really the good, loving Christian people that they claim to be? And the answer to that is the majority of them are not. All right, I got you now, Brenda.
Well, the majority of them, but my thing, like I said, when I was growing up, my parents, of course, I was raised in a Baptist, and then they would switch different churches around the neighborhood to. They never went to like the Mormons or like some of the other ones. Seventh Day Adventist. I don't think never really tried those, but my parents, my grandfather was a preacher. When I got out of preaching school up in Kentucky, and we accidentally. I was in Independence, Kentucky the other day, and when I told him the name of it, he said, "Oh, my first church wasn't far from there." And we found it. I got a picture of it over here, but it was the first church he preached at. But my mom was raised that way. She had 3 other sisters, and preacher's daughters, and she wasn't. She admitted she wasn't what you would call a saved Christian until like her 20s or whatever. Then she got serious, but is she a backslider? Well, they all are. But
let's point this out to people to make sure that they understand. Your grandfather was a preacher for a long time, right?
He still preaches occasionally in his 90s, 96. So
I got you. But so you come from a Christian family, so it's not their fault that you're agnostic.
No, it ain't their fault. It's the fact that I wasn't scared to get off the horse and go investigate. Okay. I mean, and my investigations kept leading me back to the same conclusion. This is all bullshit.
You tell your parents that I said it's not their fault that you're a complete moron.
It's not their fault. I'm a deep thinker. Whatever. You can say what you want. But
yeah, you're right, Brenda. The definition of church is the people, the actual Christian people that are there for the right reasons.
But I mean, it just dawned on me a lot of ways that I thought, man, this is, something's wrong. Something's not right. But I was always fascinated with ancient Egypt, and that is in the Bible, but that was the thing that's, fascinated me the most about it. And like I said, if you go back to Egypt and you look at their gods and you look what their gods, said, they had a lot of gods. I think my opinion was Moses's brilliance was condensing it from multiple gods to one. That there was only one God, because the Egyptians worshipped a god of the river Nile, or the flooding deltas, because that was what gave them their food. And then they had different gods. They had a bunch of them. They had Set and Pra and Ra and all these other ones. But I think Moses's brilliance was, well, let's condense it. Let's condense it to one God. And that's where I give Moses that credit. But again, if you go back even further to the ancient, the Babylonians, and read the ancient Sumerian text, it's a little different story. It's the same story, but it's told differently. It's a different perception of the Garden of Eden. And I would encourage anybody, if you've got balls and don't care to get off the horse and go for a walk, go read the ancient Sumerian stories and the tablet, or have someone translate the tablets of Babylon to you, and they'll tell you they mentioned the Garden of Eden, but they mentioned man was enslaved. We were slaves to the gods. The gods were the Anunnaki, and we were slaves to them. And it's a very interesting story because they were reptilian-like, and one of them felt sorry and set us all free. But that's where I say, go look them stories up and see for yourself, because it is kind of interesting. I'm trying to find the picture. I got the picture in here. What you doing, man?
I ain't doing nothing. What you doing?
I know what you're doing. You got quiet. You hit the button.
Oh, I was talking to father-in-law. I lean more towards like the Vikings, Odin.
But again, Odin's no different than Zeus or any of the other ones, or.
But they also had the
Krishna.
Whatchamacallit? What did they have? It was the fortune teller, but what they call it? I can't remember. My mind goes blank.
Prophets.
Huh?
Prophets?
No, it wasn't that. I forgot what they called it, but anyway. Say what? Now the old person that knew all the past,
elders,
and future. No, it was just one. I'll remember in a minute. I'm getting old.
But no, they had their wise men, and all these towns, all these old cultures have it. I mean, hell, it was Eric von Daniken's book, Chariots of the Gods, was one that I like. I love the hell out of that book because he talked about that stuff. But he was talking about how, you get the Mayan Spaceman, which is that alternative rock band, Stone Temple Pilots. That's what they named their band after, was the Mayan Spaceman. You can look him up. He's pretty well known. It's a sarcophagus carving on a ancient Mayan burial site. But the Mayan Spaceman is what it's called. But he, it's not like, and this is, like I said, this stuff is way old. It's way older than the Christians. The story of Jesus, this stuff's older than that, or back in them days, and they had completely separated. I mean, you had thousands of miles of ocean. These people had their completely different beliefs.
Brenda, I don't think it's anybody's fault. She said could blame her parents because her dad was atheist and mom was Christian. It's kind of like this scenario. If you say you have 4 children and you raise all 4 of them the same way, and one becomes a doctor, one becomes a teacher, and one becomes a cop, and your last one is a druggie, a thief, and he stays in and out of jail. is it the parents' fault? You raised all of them the same way with morals and integrity, and one went astray, right? I'm
It's
a Christian.
whatever.
I believe in God gave us free will. So whatever they decide they're going to do with their free will, they're going to do it.
Hold on a second. You say God done this. He's almighty. He's omnipotent. He's super powerful. Me and Red had this conversation the other day. And
just because I believe, you don't have to believe. You believe what you believe.
No. You say, but he couldn't defeat the devil. He's the most powerful thing in the world, but he can't defeat the devil and he can't control you because he gave you free will. If you were the creator, wait, hold on.
He could have.
If you were the creator, would you have given something you created free will? And then sit around jealous, wanting them to worship you? Is that what we do to our AI? Is that what? No. Wait, as creator,
I see it different than you do.
Well, how? Why? What was the point of it?
What I'm saying is, I don't see it as him.
He could wipe it. He's all powerful. He could wipe it all out, get rid of the devil tomorrow, and then and then take his true people. And then what? What's that? What? He could. Yeah, he could. Well, we say he could. What's he? Define he. That's what I want.
He, she.
He is what? He, she, what? What is it? I say the sun that's sitting over there is more of something I can.
But it's more of a God. It's more of a test, right?
Well, what's the point in a test?
Well, there's a lot of points to a test.
There were certain tests I didn't do good on because I didn't give a fuck, but that don't mean I'm a dumbass.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Mm-hmm.
you are a dumbass. So I mean, check.
Opinions are like assholes. We all got one, But my thing is, it's just the point is, why are you living? If you're living your life because you're scared of a punishment, that's no way to live. That's not a life I want. No. I'm saying there are a lot of Christians who do live their life.
Oh, I understand.
And feel like, just because I don't want to go to the, damn sure don't want to be on the ninth ring of hell.
And I'm not scared of dying. The only thing I'm scared of is what I leave behind. You know what I'm saying? If I died 5 minutes from now, it wouldn't bother me one bit. What I left behind, my children, my wife, kids, bills, did I leave enough for them to be taken care of? That's the thing I'm scared of.
No. Did you?
I don't know.
You don't know? You should.
I hope. I mean, I hope.
Well, did you leave a big enough impression on? God, I still hate your oldest son. Went and did that. I don't know. I wouldn't want. Just like you were talking about, the people like you could get fired if you misgender someone who wants to make sure that you understand their gender, and it's like, please fire me, please.
What's no different? It's no different than if one of the minorities, whether it's African American or if it's just George, George is Haitian. It's no different if they could call me cracker or a fat ass cracker, and it's fine. But if I mumbled any kind of derogatory form in their face back to them after they were that way to me, who's going to lose and who's going to keep their job in that scenario? That's the world we live in.
And that's where more people, I think, should have the balls to stand up to their job and say, well, fire me then, asshole.
Well, absolutely. But it's the same thing in the government and the leaders. More people in this country need to stand up.
What I was saying about Braxton was more or less, going to the military and then saying, hey, you got to take all these fucking vaccines. Go fuck yourself. My body, my choice, motherfucker. The government would not. Imagine the fucking military saying that, if you're pregnant, you can't abort it. Imagine that. You want to see a shit show come back? My body, my choice? No. You're going to, if the woman got pregnant on the base and she wanted to abort it, she's going to have her choice. and the government's going to be fine with it. But when it comes to vaccines, they're not.
You know how many times me and him had these conversations, and I told him that he shouldn't do that, but he made up his mind that he was willing to make those sacrifices to do what he wanted to do. So at that point, the same thing. The same thing I told my best friend. He was 2 months away from having his 20 years in and retiring, and they forced him to get them. They told him that he didn't follow their guidelines and get their COVID shots, that he would not be allowed to retire and get his retirement. So what did he do? He gave in. Instead, they should have got everybody or as many people they could on their side and stood up against them, but they don't do that. The people don't do that.
We're fighting a lost cause, I think, a lot in this country, because a lot of people don't realize that, you should band together and just tell these people no. Just like the little tyrannical city councils and tyrannical little mayors that don't want to have discussions.
When you can't get but 20 or 25%, and that's being generous, out to your local elections to vote. The county this year, both elections averaged 14%. I didn't go back and look at what percentage was with the city, but we can do the math on probably the numbers. Votes for mayor cast was what? 2,300?
I don't remember. I thought it was about 2,400 maybe.
All right. Let's just be generous and say 2,500. All right.
Yeah, good. That's not.
How many people over 18 are eligible to vote out of the 13,000 something people?
Even if it was, like I said, even if you call it 25%, I don't think it's, or a third. I wouldn't.
Let's say 40, it's a third.
Go for 40%. 40% of the people go and vote that mayor in. That's not. No, you don't have a right, motherfucker. You're not. That did not make you the boss of the town. No way. And that was where I was talking about the books the other week, and I encourage people to go research them. That's not enough. Voting is not my complacent admission to allow someone to be my master. You know what I mean? Because I voted for this person or that person doesn't give the person that won, well, I know you didn't vote for me, but I'm still your boss. No. Or I know you voted for me, which makes me your boss. No, it's a shared, it's supposed to be, there should be give and take in any kind of relationship, but eventually, but right now it looks like all these city officials and government officials, and especially the bankers, they're all just taking. Maybe you should share that video you sent me. That was surprising how long. Share it on Facebook, Spoon.
I'll try.
It was crazy how long ago that was, but that was in the EU, the European Parliament.
Well, I even have people that I know that work for banks locally, right? And when we talked about Bank FU and everything, they took it personal and was coming at me standing up again, and I'm like, look, I'm not just coming at your local bank. We despise all banks and all bankers, because guess what? They have destroyed and controlled our country.
Go back to Andrew Jackson. Look at what he understood it. But as far as I can tell, my aunt is supposedly out of Bank FU now, and I believe her property is on her standard mortgage, with another bank, but she got away from them. I believe she got out of Bank FU, and now no more of their balloons, which is what I say. If I'm lying, Mr. Board members who don't like us, then prove that I'm lying. Prove that my grandparents didn't have a balloon mortgage on this place I live in. Prove that my aunt didn't have a balloon mortgage in the place she's living in.
There's somebody else that I know, in this town. They got a pretty big home and land with a balloon payment through one of these banks. I can't say their name and all that.
Well, I haven't never spoke my aunt's name, and my grandparents have been passed since my grandfather was 06. So,
but their mortgage doubled. It went from like $1,700-1,800 a month to $3,500-3,600 a month.
All because the balloon and the new interest. Yes,
that's right.
Yeah. So does that sound like benevolent bankers to you? You know, for the little people here in Portland, are these banks benevolent?
But somebody wants to come at me or come at us that works for the bank as a teller and everything. These people are great. I didn't say the people at the bank ain't great. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the people that own the bank and put together these freaking
they didn't earn that money.
No.
They didn't. No, the money in them coffers at that bank, especially the money in the coffers, they didn't earn that. They wasn't out digging ditches for hours and squirreling it away in a bank account so they could lend it on a house. No. They printed it into existence.
Just go. If you don't realize, Google how much the banks made last year on just overdraft fees. And you're going to say, wait, well, y'all screwed up. No. I've had this argument in my bank many times because I've had direct deposit for 20 plus years and been with the same bank for nearly that time. And this is what the banks will do to you. My check goes to the bank Thursday night, Friday morning at midnight, right? Mm-hmm. If things come through on Friday morning before they post my check into my account, they'll run every little thing through and then put my check in there. So if something pops,
I think deposits go in before drafts.
That's not how the banks do it. That's how they get the overdraft
your
fees.
Bank's corrupt here.
They're all corrupt.
Banks. Well,
they're all corrupt. But what I'm saying is, say you had $100 in your bank account, and your check goes in there at midnight Friday, and at 3 a.m. you stop at Walmart and you decide you're going to buy something that's $50, and then you stop and fill up your tank of fuel, at 5 a.m. and that's another $60. All right, and then you decide you want to get breakfast, so you stop at Hardee's and get you a biscuit and a coffee. That's $5. What they do is they run that 60 and 50 through, and then it pops that $5 charge overdraft. So now that $5 biscuit and coffee become $45 because most overdrafts are $38 to $40, $37 to $40, and then they deposit your check in there. All right, so y'all Google and go and find out. It's billions of dollars they made off the little people like us. And then people want to defend the banks.
No, I don't defend the banks. I think the banks should be audited and their feet should be put to the fire.
Woodrow Wilson and the bankers destroyed it. The Federal Reserve.
That didn't pass. That don't even pass the mustard. It didn't have a quorum.
No, it didn't.
It was like half the people were home for Christmas break, honestly. But the Federal Reserve got their power. They got their control. And, we've let the 19th Amendment or whatever, the senators. I mean, we really lost a lot of the country with that one, in my opinion.
Well, of course we did.
That was a bad one. I'll go find it. Let's see. But you, let's see, Amendment 17 was the senators. 16 was the status of income tax. Oh, what do you think about women's suffrage? Do you think that was kind of where the women's suffrage, Amendment 19?
What about it?
Do you think that's part of, I mean, in some ways, a lot of what a big problem in voting is you got these, white overprivileged Karens, you know what I mean? That want to be all woke and caring, and they have an equal right to vote to the people who, well, I don't know, speak truth or facts, like if you're still a real man in this country, and you're willing to speak the truth. You know, a couple white Karens. There's one of them got number 3 in the city. That's what I'm gonna. We could just call her Karen, I guess.
Well,
let's pet all the little good citizens. We'll have a makeup firework day.
Not being totally truthful here, or being this is what I'm getting at. This is going to be sarcastic, but I've always told people that besides the like Woodrow Wilson and the bankers and the Federal Reserve and World War I and all that, what the real downfall of this country was when we give women rights, rights to vote, and because the women are supposed to be barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen, and seen and not heard. I'm being sarcastic now, so don't shoot me. I'm being sarcastic.
You're in trouble now. Amy's probably watching. She's gonna come after you.
I tell her that all the time, messing with her. Those saying
now you did it publicly. Now it's serious.
Those saying if the wife is mad at you and she's holding a knife, just throw her 2 pieces of bread, she'll make you a sandwich.
Yeah, I remember that one. Women shouldn't be driving; they should be in the kitchen.
That's right.
But no, look, you look at a lot of things that happened in that decade. Man, there was a lot. I mean, that was the Great Leap right there. World War I going on. You had the income tax come in, Federal Reserve Act, women's suffrage. Then they thought they were going to get rid of the alcohol. That one didn't work out so well for them.
I don't know why I can't copy this.
Copy what?
Well, that video, I sent it to the messenger, and I'm trying to copy it to paste it.
You can do it after we get off, man.
Well, I was trying to put it on this stream, but yeah, I'll do it when we get off.
I wonder, did you do an update to see if that guy ended up, hanging himself in a cell after he left speaking the truth about banks?
I did not.
No. You might want to check and see if he Epsteined himself, but no, that's but banks, they don't really. Money is that the people don't understand how important, there's different currency. Like right now we live under the rule of currency. We don't live under the rule of money. We live under the rule of currency, and currency is at the base of almost everything that you and I and everybody engage in. It's a great device and a great system. I can't argue against it because, I don't have to say, "Hey, Spoon, I got these scissors here. Would you take these for, a pack of paper?" You know what I mean? You say, "Well, your pack of paper is $2 and them scissors are $2. Well, you'll take this paper, right? So it's great for what it does as a, means of, commerce. It's absolutely fantastic. But the fact that it can just be made into existence by every little bank, the central banks can make as much of it as they want. And they're the backup to the little banks, which like Bank FU and, the other one, in town here, them 2 banks, the corruptness in them, but it ain't no different on the bigger banks. They're just as corrupt. They buy everything.
The bastards.
The what?
Bank FU and the bastards.
Is that what you're calling the other bank in town? The bastards?
Vol bastards.
Oh, Vol bastards. Okay.
Yeah, Vol bastards.
Well, whatever you want to call them. But still, it's just, they're not benevolent. They ain't, especially if they have 3-year balloons. That's not a bank you want to branch with. No bank should have that. I think that should be a crime. Mm.
What's
If
this, like
you're,
lobbyists?
but no, if you have a mortgage on a house and a bank is allowed to have a 3-year balloon on it, where 3 years later the interest rate could double and then your price of your house could double, that should be a crime. It should be criminal, don't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They didn't give you the money. They didn't give you the money because you come in there and gave them a good smile. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They gave you the money because you had some collateral to back it up. They bought collateral, you know. And if they bought collateral, then the mortgage, then the rate should stay locked in.
Let's be honest about this. The reason they do that is because they're trying to put these people in the situation to be able to take their home and their land, because they know if it hits the way it's probably going to hit in their favor, these people aren't going to be able to afford it. So let's say you pay on a home. How long did your aunt pay on hers with that balloon?
Oh, I don't know. She got that. I think she got it originally in 12. So 10 years.
10 years. All right. She paid on that for 10 years. And if she somehow lost it to the bank this year, they own that. And her property is worth, what do you think, compared to 10 years ago? At least 3 times the value of what it was 10 years ago. Right or wrong?
Mm-hmm.
So not only did they get money for 10 years, which was probably enough to pay the money that she borrowed without being the balloon interest bullshit, and now they have the property in their hands that is 3 to 4 times the value of what it was when they loaned her the money that they've already got paid back. So now they get to turn around and sell that property to somebody else and hoping they can sucker somebody else to doing the same thing and do the same thing to them. So now they've already tripled or quadrupled their money, plus they have the house and land to sucker somebody else. And yet we're the bad guys we're talking about these banks and the bankers. I guess I'll be the bad guy.
Well, see, let's see. This is just $100,000. Like, I was just playing here, so you've got me turn the tune down. So if you look at it, it's like the first 3, like 20. Okay, so I don't know why it's showing 2019. That's old, but there's your numbers. So your balance at the end of year 1 is 99,311 on 100,000, then 97, then 95. So that's your 3 years. So you've got $100,000 loan down $5,000. So now what they'll do is they'll be like, all right. So now when it's time to re-up it, clear. So 95, 500. But then you got to add in closing costs, excuse me. Because they got to reclose the loan.
Oh,
so yeah. They got to reclose the loan. So let's just, what do you think that'd be? Let's say
you got to have the appraisal fee and closing costs.
Yeah, we got to make sure. So yeah, so 98.
Oh, that's another at least 5,000.
After 3 years, you're at 98,000. You've only got $2,000 down, and then there you go. You're down to 93. Oh, we got to do it again, and it's ridiculous. If you look at charts and graphs, or you graph it, it's crazy. If they didn't reset it, there would what you'd be. You'd be paying 34.1% of what you paid them, but they'll reset that. You know,
I'm taking my payment, right? The payment I make on my place every month, and then multiply it by 10 years. How much do you think I've paid for my place if I had that through the bank? $101,400. Okay, so what it appraised at 10 years ago and what it praises at now is almost 3 times the amount. So I paid $101,000 on the place, and if I had that balloon payment, my payment would easily double. All right, so I paid enough.
Won't double on the value. It would. Well, your payment would double this year. It would double because the interest rates went through the roof.
Right, that's what I'm saying. With the interest rate, my payment's going to double. My value tripled, so I can't make the payment anymore. The bank's going to take my place, even though I paid enough to own it outright.
Oh no, yeah, you paid them what they invested. Yes,
right. So I've already paid them enough to own it, but I don't. Now I can't make the payment because the payment's double or more what it was. So now the bank owns my property and my home after they already stole $101,000 from me. And now they're going to take that and try to sucker somebody else into that and do the same thing to them. And if they can do that to them,
they're a bunch of crooks. Did you freeze? Okay. But no, it's because they're a bunch of crooks. But like I said, I believe my aunt did finally get away from Bank FU, and she's got a conventional mortgage that's locked in and fixed, and it can't go up with the crazy interest rates. But
well, that's good.
The people who got suckered into that thing. Lordy,
Well,
I feel sorry for y'all.
Well, we ain't got too much longer. We're gonna get off here, but I just wanted to give you props and tell you podcast and streaming and audio and all that's a lot better today. I wonder who gave you that great idea of like getting you a good laptop or computer. Whoever it was, tell him good job.
I don't know. I think it was my dad told me that. My daddy Spoon. You coming over to Spoon with me now, Spoon?
you like it a lot better than that old computer, don't you?
Yeah. I still like my old computer. I'm connected to it.
I can understand that, but for what we're doing, the new one is better.
I'm not gonna say
faster processor, all that good stuff.
I don't know if it's a faster processor. It's just a Chromebook. But no, it works a lot better. It's got fast Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
I ran the speed test.
You're still playing Oregon Trail on that thing over there next to you, though.
Oh, come on now. It was, it made it to Oregon. I mean, that's where I bought it, didn't that's what I'm saying. When you sit there and you talk about these Christian crowds that go into tip the people after church and they're just cheap, nasty asses, it's like, I'm just a cheap, nasty ass. I don't need to go to church to tell you that. I bought this laptop in Oregon just because Oregon doesn't have sales tax.
Well, see, I'm different. And it makes me so mad because, I think it was just like last week. Was the last? Yeah, maybe in the week before. These church folks will come in there and they'll be 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 party deep. And they'll stay there for an hour and a half, 2 hours being rude, mean, and they'll leave $3 tip.
$3 tip?
All of them together, $3 tip.
No.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was thinking 20, to be cheap.
No.
Because you said there was 10 of them. $2 a person. Well, maybe I ain't a cheap ass.
No, you're not. And as a Christian man, as I claim to be, if that was me doing that job and that happened to me, I'd have to meet them in the parking lot and tell them what I thought of them, whether it cost me my job or not.
Well, I don't know, man. You can, $3 for a group of people from church.
This is a group of bigger than 10. That's total $3, not $3 a person. $3.
Well, don't remember they brought their worshiping asses in there, so
yeah,
the restaurant owner can make some money while the waitress got jacked up to her back door.
See, I always think I'm generous, and I am because I try to give.
You're way too generous. I've seen your tips, and I'm like, what the fuck's the matter with you, man? Get down to like 15% or something. Shit, dude.
I try to give 20 to 25% bare minimum, and a lot of times more than that. But I'm real easy to please. If we go out to dinner, all you got to do is keep my cup filled. You can mess my food up 100 times, whatever. As long as I have drink, we're good. All right. But even as generous as I am, sometimes we're out, me and the wife, and I'll be like, don't you think that's enough? She's like, I don't know. And then she'll throw another 5 or 10 in, It's like I already give them 30%. They're like, yeah, but their job's hard and other people's going to screw them. I said, all right, I understand. So that's why I'm over generous because, you got to make up for the people that are not tipping and being rude and mean.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
Brian,
giving you some.
Brian Burgess, you know about all those cheap ass church folks, don't you? Yeah, he knows. He knows I ain't lying.
But all I'm saying on the agnostic thing is just go do your research, back up and look, go older, and then just go older. Go back to as far back as you can, and then you'll see there's a different story. And then you'll see Moses' brilliance was, telling it from a different perspective and then consolidating the gods into one. So there's only one God, and then he, flipped the script, I think. But if you also study the Egyptian, there's a lot of things in Egypt that made its way into the Bible too. But we can't talk about that because, then all of a sudden Jesus entered the fold. And, I think Jesus is just a solar Messiah. If you look at him, there's so many things about him that to me just say, no, it's all he is. He's a solar Messiah. He's the sun what was it called in Zeitgeist? Anthropomorphized onto the planet as a human.
See, Brian said yes. He knows all about those cheap ass church folks.
But no, I guess I'm about spent for today. We don't need to keep on it, I guess. And I know you got to go to bed, Mr. Work, doctor's appointment, being up all night. But what you doing? Frozen?
What?
You frozen?
No, I ain't frozen. You frozen?
It looks like you're freezing. I might have the better connection than you now. But hey, I waited for Black Friday. I got to, get right before Black Friday. Boom, computer acted up really, really bad. And then Black Friday come, and I found a good computer deal, and I thought, okay, I'll do what Charlie suggests finally and get a upgraded laptop that actually will do its job on the internet.
I didn't buy anything on Black Friday.
Nothing? Oh shit!
No, I got a new washer, dryer, and dishwasher before Black Friday.
I got the new Ring doorbell from Lowe's. It was $60. Oh my god, it's so much better than that old one. Actually, the video quality is amazing on it. I'm like, damn, $60 for yeah, you got to take it down and recharge it, but $60, good deal. But
you finally coming out of the Stone Age, or
I'm doing some upgrades. You do it periodically, I mean, now it's Cyber Monday. Everybody should get over here and go look at what's going on. I didn't see too many real good deals on Cyber Monday so far.
Oh yeah,
no, I ain't saying much. But anywho, I guess I'll end it there. See that now my computer works. And you can't call my computer a dinosaur anymore. You get your dinosaur and close it down.
My dinosaur.
Yeah, your old dinosaur.
Get me a new one too, huh?
I reckon. This one's doing great. I can't believe how good this one's doing.
What kind of Chromebook is yours? Mine's a Lenovo.
Lenovo. This is an Acer.
Yeah, it's probably about the same.
Acer Chromebook 315. Walmart had it for $150.
Yeah, it's probably about the same. Acer's pretty good. I ain't ever got anything.
I've had them in the past. I had 2 or 3 of their regular computers. They were great. But anywho,
all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll post more stuff on our.
You're gonna be on Sunday, right?
Yeah,
Sunday, right?
Yeah, we'll do it Sunday. Yeah, we'll be back on Sunday. He's going to be posting more stuff to our YouTube channel. If you don't know, ain't been there, go to Real Talk with Spoon and Puddin on YouTube and subscribe. Hope y'all have a great week.
All right, y'all have a good one. See y'all next week.